Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is, well, it's pretty ambitious. We're diving into a proposal that suggests a radical shift in how we think about justice.
That's right. We're looking at the Alabama prison rehabilitation proposal.
And it's more than just tinkering around the edges. This is a blueprint aimed at transforming a punitive system into one focused squarely on restoration and healing.
Exactly. It's designed to completely overhaul the Alabama Department of Corrections, the ADOC, using three core ideas: moral repair, restorative justice, and what they call productive rehabilitation.
So not just punishment, but a pathway to
A
change.
structured pathway, yeah. It's trying to use the time of incarceration for genuine transformation.
And what strikes me right away is the structure. It's not just wishful thinking. It's laid out in four very distinct phases.
Yes. Revive, rebuild, renew, and reinforce. Each one has its own goals, its own methods, even measurable benchmarks.
Anchored by things like counseling, education, vocational training. It's quite detailed.
Very. It maps out a journey from, initial accountability right through to successful reentry.
Okay, let's dig in. Phase one, revive. This sounds like where the really deep psychological work happens.
Absolutely. It's the foundation. The goal here is to restore accountability, that moral compass, and tackle the big underlying issues: trauma, addiction, patterns of violence.
Right. If you don't address those, changing behavior is almost impossible.
Precisely. So this phase uses intensive counseling tools. The proposal specifically mentions cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Which helps people manage thoughts and impulses, right?
Exactly. And they pair that with mindfulness practices and psychoeducation, basically, understanding your own psychology.
Interesting mix. And there's more than just therapy.
Yeah, there's a strong emphasis on spiritual meditation for self-reflection and perhaps critically really structured daily routines.
Ah, the structure. Why is that so important here?
Well, the thinking is that structure provides discipline and predictability. It replaces the often chaotic life circumstances that might have contributed to the offending behavior. It's also argued to reduce violence within the facilities.
Okay, but how do you deliver intensive therapy like CBT across a whole prison system? That seems like a huge logistical challenge.
It is, and the proposal acknowledges that. The key seems to be leveraging technology, specifically virtual counseling sessions.
So telehealth for prisons, essentially.
Pretty much. It allows them to reach everyone, consistently overcoming limitations of physical staffing or location.
And the moral education part. That's where the restorative justice connection really starts.
Definitely. It's about teaching empathy, the concept of forgiveness, and crucially, getting inmates to understand the real human impact of their crimes. Not just abstractly, but the specific harm caused.
This is where they start building that sense of moral repair you mentioned.
Yes. Before you can have reconciliation, the person has to truly grasp the harm they've done. This phase prepares them for things like potential victim impact sessions or writing what they call letters of accountability.
Letters of accountability, how is that different from just saying sorry?
It's much deeper. It's not a quick apology. It requires articulating the specific harm, taking full ownership of the choices made, and showing genuine understanding of the victim's perspective. It's about moving past just feeling bad into real responsibility. It's a tough process.
Okay, that makes sense as the heavy lifting for phase one,
Yeah,
laying that deep groundwork.
right.
So once that emotional and moral foundation is hopefully setting in, how do they move towards practical change? Towards, life outside. That sounds like phase two, rebuild.
Exactly. Phase two shifts focus. It's about equipping inmates with practical, tangible skills, education, job training, things that build real self-esteem and a sense of purpose.
And the proposal names specific partners, doesn't it? Like Ingram State Technical College and the Alabama Community College system.
Yes, which is important. It means the GEDs or associate's degrees they earn are legitimate, recognized credentials. It's not just busy work.
What kind of vocational training are we talking about?
High-demand fields. Things Alabama actually needs workers in. HVAC, automotive skills, culinary arts, carpentry, even computer programming. Real employable skills.
So building human capital, essentially.
Absolutely. And this phase also includes mandatory physical training and group activities. The research supports this for reducing stress and aggression.
And this is also where the first concrete step towards restitution comes in, financially speaking.
Yes. Inmates start making contributions to a victim's advocacy fund.
So the accountability moves from the internal work and the letters to actually starting to provide some material form of repair.
Precisely. It reinforces the empathy learned in phase one through tangible action. They're using their time, maybe starting to use their new skills to contribute back. It's a key sign they're internalizing the process.
And that readiness leads into phase 3. Renew. What's the focus here?
Renew is about integration, integrating the skills they've learned into real-world contexts, focusing on social rehabilitation, and tackling maybe the most sensitive part, family healing.
Okay, so how does the real world part work while they're still incarcerated?
Through work programs, earning actual living wages. This could be through the Prison Industry Enhancement Certification Program, PIECP, which allows private companies to operate inside prisons, or through work release programs, or even specific in-prison jobs.
And they contribute from these earnings.
Yes, towards their own upkeep, they pay taxes, and they continue contributing to that victim's fund. It builds dignity, responsibility, financial literacy.
And education continues.
It does. Focus shifts to soft skills too, communication, teamwork, and they can pursue higher education online using Ingram State System, like their Canvas platform.
But you mentioned family healing and the restorative piece. That sounds like the core of this phase.
It really is. This is where counseling focuses on reconnecting with family, repairing relationships, often involving faith-based support too, and crucially, this phase includes the possibility of supervised restorative dialogues.
Voluntarily, right, between the inmate and potentially the victim or community members affected.
Yes, always voluntary for everyone involved. This is, well, it's the heart of restorative justice in practice. It's incredibly challenging, but potentially transformative.
And the proposal actually points to real-life examples of this working, doesn't it? These aren't just theoretical.
That's vital. They cite specific cases, like Jason Casper and Michael Clifton. Casper was the victim of a violent assault by Clifton.
And they met.
They met in a restorative dialogue. And the outcome was astounding. It wasn't just about closure for Casper. Clifton was apparently so impacted by hearing Casper's story and eventually receiving his compassion that they now work together.
Together, doing what?
Educating young people about violence prevention. It completely reframed their relationship from victim and offender to collaborators in healing.
Wow. That's profound. That moves way beyond just punishment.
It really does. And there are other examples. Debbie Bagri and Ian Manuel, she was his victim. Over time, through communication initiated while he was incarcerated, she became his advocate. Her forgiveness was key to his own healing and eventual successful reentry.
So the victim's role, their agency, is central.
Absolutely crucial. And one more example they use, Don Allison and Marcus Sheffin. Another case involving severe crime where reconciliation eventually happened, driven by faith and empathy.
These stories really highlight something important, that this restorative process isn't about letting people off the hook.
Not at all. It demands more accountability from the offender. They have to truly confront the harm. But it also shows the incredible power, the catalytic power of a victim choosing to engage, choosing compassion or forgiveness when they are ready. It's a two-way street of courage.
Okay, so after potentially navigating those incredibly intense dialogues in Renew, what's next? Phase 4, Reinforce. This sounds like the final stretch.
It is. It's about consolidating all the gains from the previous phases and preparing for a successful, sustainable life outside. It's about mastery.
Mastery of what? Their traits?
Yes, advanced training in their chosen fields, IT, construction, culinary arts, whatever it might be, becoming genuinely skilled, but also mastery of self-management, financial stability.
Financial stability. You mentioned literacy earlier. How concrete does that get in Phase 4?
Very concrete. There's specific training on budgeting, saving, credit repair. And here's a key detail. They are required to save a minimum of $12,000 before they are eligible for release.
$12,000? That's a significant amount. Why that number?
It's not arbitrary. The research suggests this amount provides roughly 6 months of basic living expenses. It's a buffer. It prevents that immediate desperation upon release, choosing between rent and food, which is a huge trigger for reoffending. It gives them breathing room, a real chance.
That makes a lot of sense. And what else happens in Reinforce?
They take on leadership roles.
Yeah.
Senior inmates, those who've successfully navigated the program, start mentoring the newer ones.
So embedding the culture of accountability within the prison population itself.
Exactly. Creating a positive peer pressure system, if you like. And the phase culminates in a really comprehensive reentry plan.
Not just dumping them at the gate.
No. Housing secured, employment lined up, or strong leads, ID documents sorted, continued counseling scheduled, a detailed roadmap for release.
And the restorative connection continues here too.
Yes. Graduates share their stories, their testimonies. They become living proof that the process can work. They mentor others, reinforcing those principles of forgiveness, moral repair, and responsibility. It becomes self-sustaining.
So if we zoom out and look at the whole four-phase arc, who benefits from this kind of system according to the proposal? Let's start with the victims.
For victims, it offers a voice, pathways to potential emotional closure, and practical support through that Victims Advocacy Fund. It allows them to be active participants in the justice outcome, not just passive recipients of harm.
Okay. And for the inmates who go through this demanding process?
They gain genuine empathy, deep accountability, practical life skills, and importantly, a clear path towards freedom that they have earned through demonstrable change and good conduct. It's about restoring their own dignity.
And the payoff for society?
Potentially huge. Reduced prison overcrowding, significantly lower recidivism rates, which means lower long-term costs for taxpayers, and fundamentally safer communities. It also offers a chance to rebuild trust in the justice system itself.
It really circles back to that core idea we discussed, that restorative justice, as envisioned here, isn't the easy way out.
Absolutely not. It's arguably harder. It demands genuine, difficult internal work from the offender. But as those real-world cases show, Clifton, Manuel, Sheffin, the potential for transformation, often sparked by the victim's courage, is immense.
It certainly challenges the conventional wisdom about punishment.
Profoundly so.
So this Alabama prison rehabilitation proposal, it's really trying to heal both sides of the equation, isn't it? The harmed and the harmer. As you listen, you really have to think about the power dynamics in stories like the Casper Clifton one. Jason Casper didn't just forgive. He now works with the man who attacked him. It makes you wonder, maybe the highest aim of justice isn't just punishment. Maybe it's actually restoration. Complete restoration of humanity and purpose for everyone touched by the crime.